Okay, continuing. Not only is the War Museum here for the latest Korean War in the 1950s, it also has other wars, items from other wars, such as this replica of a turtle ship, what they called it, and kind of resembles a turtle. The top part is actually made of metal, and the bottom part is made of wood. You saw a turtle ship at the bottom of the Admiral Yi statue, and here's another example. And that dragon is also not made of wood. Okay, so anyways, we're looking at many things in this place, and we'll continue as such. I just did a quick walk of the historical section, beginning with the cave people days and all the way up past the Japanese invasion of Korea the first time in the 1500s. And it's a huge section. I don't have that much time to cover all of it. So I'm just going to give you a few highlights, but then concentrate more on the Korean War of the 1950s, because we're all more familiar with it. And even the Korean War of the 1950s, I have to be selective about how much video I take just because of time constraint. Okay, so just know that what you're seeing is not at all even half, not even half of this museum. Okay, thank you. Okay, this is something really amazing here. This is the scale model of Seoul back in the days of the Joseon dynasty, back in the 13th, 14th, 15th centuries. What I just showed you was the Gyeobakgung Palace that we were at a few days ago. If you scroll back in my videos, you'll find me going to the Gyeobakgung Palace, and that's where we were a few days ago. Okay, over here is the Seoul Fortress, and if you look over here, that's the timeline of Korea, and we'll go take a look at the timeline of Korea. Okay, they start out with basically about 900 AD, but we don't care about any of that stuff. All we care about is what happened in 1206. That's right, Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan reunited the Mongolian tribes, or I should say, united the Mongolian tribes. And then by 1231, Genghis Khan begins the campaign to conquer Korea. And in 1259, Goryeo Kingdom surrenders to the Mongols. And then this was the first attempt by the Goryeo Mongol invasion of Korea, and the second attempt was in 1281 under the leadership of Kublai Khan. And if you want to know something very special, I am a CM217 2B genetic haploid, confirmed genetic haploid, great 26 times grandson of the Genghis Khan. And that's what the Genghis Khan looked like. That's right. And then there's the rest of history. We can look down the rest of history as well. Okay, in 1592 we have the outbreak of the Imjin War, which is the war that Korea was invaded by Japan under the leadership of Toyotomi Hideoshi. However, the Admiral Yi, the greatest admiral of Korea, basically kicked out the Japanese within, I don't know, 20 years or so, and then Japan invaded again in 1597, and then they failed. And after Toyotomi Hideoshi died, they backed off, and then there was a civil war. There was several Three Kingdoms periods, and of course, the next big event would be the 1950s, the Korean War, which we will show you later on in some of the other videos. Okay, I just did a quick review of my video. Of course, Genghis Khan died in 1227, and the next Khan was Ogadai. And saying that he invaded in 1231, I meant his people. Of course I know Genghis Khan died in 1227. We're actually at a different museum right now. I'm splicing this into the video. Wow, I mean, take a look at the accuracy. Let's just call it that, the accuracy. On the left you see India, and in the center, of course, that's China. And then Korea is drawn very large, and Japan is actually not drawn as large. Or is that supposed to be Taiwan? I'm not sure. Looks like the neighboring one is Taiwan. So this is a very impressive map for the time period, which was the Yuan dynasty. And the Yuan dynasty was the 1200s. And this is also from the other museum. We are looking at a map of Seoul, map of downtown Seoul. And this map is about, I would say hundreds of years old. 18th century, so 1700s. I'll give you a little look-see in on where we are. We're in Seoul. Okay, so we'll start the historical stuff with the Mongol invasion. Originally, the Koreans, the Goryeo of the north, was having problems with a neighboring the Manchus. At the time they were called, in Chinese called the Jin, and in English called the Khitan. Okay, and those Jin fought the Goryeo, and Korea came to the Yuan dynasty looking for some assistance. Oh, this is before Yuan dynasty, I'm sorry. They were looking for assistance from the Mongols, from Ogadai Khan's people, which was the second Khan of the Mongols, and they defeated the Khitai together. However, after that, the Mongols wanted Korea, so basically they took Korea over a series of battles, and these were the years of the battles. And then this was all the markings, but then eventually the Koreans lost out to the Mongols, but then allowed the Goryeo kingdom to survive as a puppet government, which is basically what the Mongols did. And so this is from that time period, and you can see this is the artwork from that time period. It's called the Battle of Cheon Fortress, and there's some detailed drawings of Mongol warriors against the native Korean warriors. Okay, so next we're gonna skip out all the way to the period known as the Imjin War, which is when Japan invaded Korea in the 1500s. Okay, 3, 2, 1, we're back. Okay, so during the Japanese Age of Sengoku, which is basically in the 16th century or the 1500s, there was 3 great unifiers. The first one was named Oda Nobunaga, and the second one was named Toyotomi Hideoshi. And in order to give Japanese daimyos, lords basically, and dukes, the unifying feeling to unify Japan as one country, he decided to invade Korea. And in his invasion of Korea, he was met by a man named Admiral Yi. Admiral Yi Sun Shin. And if you remember from my previous videos, Admiral Yi, the big statue in the middle of the street there, that's the one. He's the naval admiral who basically won the war between Korea and Japan in the late 1500s, beginning around 1592. And that's the rest of the room. We'll show you some more as I head that way. During this time period, gunpowder had already been around for about 250 years in warfare, and Koreans had some cannons. Here's an example of a cannon. These are little tiny cannons, bigger cannon, and then, sorry for the quick swing around, that is the artillery of the time. The first, basically these are the forefather of the modern howitzers. Artillery is very, very important in warfare. Special shout out to Ken of Star Wars. Remember the Star Wars Legos that I was shooting the other day? Well, guess what? This is an exact replica in Legos of the statue that's outside. Remember the one in the middle of the street from my other videos? I had 2 big statues. One was Admiral Yi and the one was the King of Korea behind him. And even the little steel boat, that's right there. And the one you saw earlier in our videos. So, pretty neat, Legos. During the Imjin War, Admiral Yi, basically he was a military genius, and he came up with all these different ways that you can align your ships or organize your ships of the line in order to fight off the Japanese. This is really impressive. He had, here's the turtle ship that you saw outside, the turtle ship, and they had the steel tops right there, so it was very hard to, burn them down from the top. I guess you can burn them from the sides. And then there was a different kind of turtle ship that had more armor plating, but it's not colored. Okay, the example we saw outside is the earlier version, this one, which is more wooden. Okay, overall, he is a military genius, and if you have any idea about Horatio Nelson, the British general, a lot of these tactics could have been invented separately, like the way that the wheel was invented separately, but because of the logical way of fighting, these 2 admirals invented these tactics separately across a few hundred years in time. Okay, thank you.